Greetings and salutations, my fellow Entropians. I heard somewhere along the grapevine that you wanted to be a crafter. So I'm going to give you my advice on how to be a crafter. Starting at the step 1. Maybe step 2. I don't know. You're going to craft today. That's what's important. But we're also going to look at the markets and all the stuff involved in a simple little craft that you should probably aim for starting to craft yourself. So let's get started, everyone. We're going to start off with... Alright, here we go. The default component widget 1. Okay, this is everything that goes in to a component widget 1. Why is this important? Well, this when you are crafting, you need a goal in mind. The component widget 1 should be one of your first goals. And as you can see, there's all these different things that go into it. We got the basic filters, right? You got the basic sheet metal, right? Animal muscle oil, you need this too. Vibrant sweat, you need 4 for each click. And let's see, basic sensor, check, we got that, you need that. And I guess filter, sheet metal, sensor, animal muscle, oh, and nanocubes, you need nanocubes. And of course you need the blueprint itself, which is right here. It's cheap if you can find it. It's cheap. It's worth buying early. But here's the thing: whenever you're starting off your crafting, of course your low levels and stuff like that's really gonna be an issue for you. So if you can get your blueprints up a little bit, the quality rating, it's not gonna hurt as bad. But if you grind up the entire thing, it should be fine. But you are not ready for component widget 1. Okay, listen to me, you're not quite ready, but it is a level 1 thing, so you'll probably be able to do a little bit of it. But your first steps is to bang out basic sensors, basic filters, basic sheet metal. Those should be your primary number 1 things to grind out. Of course, you can just go get sweat wherever, or you can get it yourself. But these things right here, basic sensor, basic filter, and basic sheet metal. That's what you need to be working on. And as you can see, basic filters is 106. And then you got basic sensors at 136 for the day. But let's just go with like more average prices. 127%. That's for a basic filter. And then basic sheet metal is pretty much like 122 for the yearly. And of course, it's been trending upwards. Nanocubes are really cheap. Animal muscle oil is really cheap. Sweat's really cheap. But these component widgets, whenever you get done with them, 130, a little bit more than 130% markup when you want to go to sell these things. Or you can actually keep crafting with them. Turn them into component widget number 2 right here, which only takes nanocubes and nova fragments. And of course your component widget 1s. And then you can also turn these into gizmos, which is pretty much the ways you get any of the ArMatrix series blueprints, or blueprints involving weapons or the attachments. So keep that in mind. All right, let's move on to the next little bit of this. We're gonna go into the basic sensors, filters, and sheet metal. What you need right there. So that's what we're going into. Alright guys, do you want to help out the free-to-play players a little bit? I know you do. Especially if you go out sweating every once in a while and you want money. Listen, we got something good going on here. This is the Medusa Bazaar right outside my shop. But here is floor 11 right here just for you. And on floor 11 we have Luke's store right here. He sells Vibrant Sweat for 1.65 head per K. Of course, he buys the sweat for 1.6 from everybody, and he also has good events at the BSS event. He's changing things up just a little bit, but usually he has like a little stack of sweat for me right here. But I already bought it, so it is what it is. But yeah, come over here, and every once in a while you can find some sweat. If you buy it, it helps out what he's doing. If I don't get to it first. Okay, guys, this is a little all over the place, but all right, we're looking into basic filters, basic sheet metal, basic sensor. I'm like moving all over the place, but here we go. Basic filters right here. What you need to make your basic filters is Listeria ingots and oil. You do your math for your markups and stuff like that. You're looking at 102, about 103% for your oil. Okay, and that's if you just buy it straight up. Mind you, you could farm for all of this. Like you can actually go mining and have a good time, go mining and get your stuff, or you can buy it straight off the auction house, which is actually not a bad idea. But yes, you are going to be paying some markup. That's not a bad thing. Crafters are really good at buying things up and converting it into something better. But when you have something like Listeria ingots and oil, you put those together, you make your basic filters, and you're still only going to be able to get like a markup of 106-ish. And the sales aren't too god-awful bad for like the week or anything like that. But to be completely honest with you, when it comes down to crafting basic filters, maybe that should be something that you keep close to your heart, because it is a base of a lot of the low-level ArMatrix guns. And, I mean, you know, the components. You craft the components with this. So, like, once you craft these things, I don't know if you want to let it go. If you wanted to craft for profit while you're getting some skills up, basic filters are kind of nice, but mostly you're going to want to use basic filters to get more metal residue. Metal residue is really important, especially if you actually plan on crafting something like an ArMatrix weapon, which if you go about doing the component widget ones, you'll definitely want to consider doing the gizmos for like weapons. And you do like the weapon 1 gizmo, right? You have the chance to get like at least like a level 30, not level 30 blueprint, but like an ArMatrix LR30 or anything from 10 to 30 or something like that on the component widget 1s. Usually on the component widget 3s, not the widgets, but the gizmos, the weapon gizmos 3, you'll actually get a few extra 10s, like ArMatrix 10s or whatever. And of course you get the low level amps and stuff like that if you go with the attachment route. But attachments and weapons you can definitely do. I'll go into a little bit further, but let's go ahead and cover the basic sheet metal. Here's something really nice with the basic sheet metal, right? So what you're basically seeing here is 127% markup for the day with 6K PED flowing through the sales. Now this is May the 1st, so keep that in mind. But weekly it's like 128, yearly 122, so you expect a little bit of fluctuation on this. But what you really need to craft a basic sheet metal is Narcasium and Alicinia's gel, or Alice Nye's gel. Yeah, we're gonna call it Alice Nye's. You call it whatever you want. But these two right here, so you're looking at what, 8%, 9%? We'll go with like 9%. 109% for the weekly right here. And you can see the sales are going strong for the Narcasium ingots, but if you can get it for cheap, that's great. Bigger bulk buys are pretty standard when you're crafting. Buy as cheap as you can. Buy those big stacks. Yes, you might have to put money into the game to be able to start your crafting career. That's fine. Could you do this harvesting sweat every day? It's possible, but you really do need a big bankroll in order to, do your thing. But I would definitely buy most of this off the auction house unless you are a competent miner and know how to get these things, and that should lower your markups significantly, especially if you want to resell this basic sheet metal. But let's go into the basic sensors. Basic sensors take Belcar ingots and Alice Nye's gel. And as you can see, the markups on these things are just like 130, almost like 130. And there's like, what, 363 PD rolling through the market right now? About what is this, 3,000 for the week? For the month, it's like 8,000. So this can actually be sold, and you can actually make these things pretty cheap, but you have to bang out the Belker and the Alice knives, and basically get a lot of Alice knives, because you can also craft your basic sheet metals. And these are pretty good profit margins right here if you want to resell this stuff right here, or go ahead and take it into the craft of the component ones, and then you can take that into the craft of the gizmos. The gizmos are important. The weapon and attachment gizmos are very important, because that's what drops your blueprints. Okay, so but when you're first starting out, I would basically work on basic filters, work on basic sheet metal, and work on basic sensors as a beginning to your crafting. If you need to spare money, separate out some of your basic sheet metal, go ahead and sell that to the market, however you deem fit, and you'll be fine. Hopefully you'll be able to make a markup, basically chewing through Belker, Alice knives, and Narcasium. Of course, when it comes down to, if you're like really starting out, I would definitely go get your Listerium and oil. I would probably go over to this little area right here, the Atlantis Archipelago, right here. Everything in this little area right here is just Listerium and oil drops. So if you're really wanting to just grind out some basic filters, and this is the only thing you really need, go here. This is a very important spot. Go here and mine to your heart's content. And I guess this goes into CLDs, but this is a great little mining spot, especially if you're wanting the cheap Listerium and the cheap oil. But remember, mining can be a little bit hard, but it's a great place to get some of the basic stuff, so you can just start crafting. And I think you can craft this stuff in automatic mode. All right, let's move on to the next little bitty bits. Of course, if you also want to help out the free-to-play, you can come to my shop, Medusa Bazaar, right over here. Like, it's the Medusa Bazaar, shop 2-1. It should say Lorespade shop. That's my shop. And if you come up in here, I do a little bit of this, but you have to get me at a good time, and I'll stretch you out, get you some hair, whatever. But we have right now selling, we have welding wire for 146%. Once the welding wire sale concludes on the auction house, this is where you're going to get some cheap welding wire. And we got Mind Essence for 120% markup. We got all sorts. We got 200 ped stacks, 100 ped stacks, and 20 ped stacks, 10 ped stacks. Whenever you buy from me, that goes to helping out the free-to-play players. That's right. I'll either buy sweat or do something in the markets to, I don't know, spread that money around, I guess. So yeah, if you want to help out, please do, and make sure you subscribe and like the videos. And usually what I'll usually do is, let's see, do we have anything? We've just entered a land area. No new buys or anything like that, but we have had a few good buys, as in buying, not buys. Goodbye. No goodbyes, but yeah, we're getting a little bit of money through, and I'm passing all of that down to the sweaters in any way I possibly can. So if you want to help support, please buy something. It would be very nice of you, I think. All right, back to the video. All right, so right here we're going to go into the Tech Gizmos. These are really important. So what you're going to need is a Tech Gizmo 1. This is a weapon tech. We got attachment tech gizmos as well. As you can see, my quality rating is not all the way up on these, but it is very important that over time that you get these things up. I have grinded most of my blueprints from quality rating 0, and I like to get my things up a little bit more, because the higher you get your quality rating up, the less losses that you're going to incur. Here's the thing. Whenever you're starting out crafting, you are going to invest a lot in your skills. And a good way to basically bypass a lot of that grinding, well, grinding through like crafting, that is. But a good way to get your stuff for engineering and your skills up is definitely going about it like this. You need what is this? What are we doing? Construction, vehicle structural engineer. I'm level 51. Okay, I've spent a lot of time on the Variag and the Starfinder 19, grinding out repair skill. Repair skill is very important. Also, if you can get the ability to captain one of these fine starships, you can get captain skill, and you can, by flying around, soaking up damage, and every single time you get hit, there's a chance that you'll get skills for captain skill. But that's neither here nor there. You get good hit points and stuff like that, especially when taken to the gunner seat. You get good hit points doing all of that. But that's not the point. The point is, you got to go get your skills for vehicle structure engineer, because you get so many upgrades to all of your crafting. Look at this. This is just mostly like level 30 through a little bit of light crafting of all this stuff, but also doing the vehicle structure engineer. Get that. You need that. You really do. So go get some welding wire and find a ship they'll take you on. If you want to go onto the Variag, they usually dock at Arcadia almost exclusively. Yes, you're gonna have to talk to Yoshi, be like, I want to be a part of the crew, take it out and do what you can and get your skills and stuff like that. Or any ship, really. It's important. There's a lot of space stuff going on right now, so getting your repair skill is just easy at this point. But one thing you're also going to have to take a look at is we got attachment Tech Gizmo recycles. Okay, these are merely limited blueprints that you can get in any of the drops. And I just want you to know, it's Tech Gizmo 8 with some nano cubes, and this is for getting shrapnel. You can get shrapnel off this, so just keep that in mind. But you know, you gotta get your quality rating up, but don't be afraid to take in some losses while you're doing it, because to be completely honest, you will get a lot more globals the more losses you take in. But once you start doing the weapon tech gizmos, you'll start getting blueprints for weapons. If you do the attachment tech gizmos, you start getting like weapon attachments, and not only weapon attachments, also mining attachments, so you can actually, you know, get like the amps and stuff like that. So very, very good things to know. But you'll get the limited blueprints for the ArMatrix and the attachments as well. So just do that. But here we go. Let's get into the numbers here. We get animal muscle oil, component widget 1, and some nano cubes, and you can basically craft the weapon tech gizmos or the attachment tech gizmos. It's pretty much the same thing. And this is how you're going to get rid of a little bit of extra animal muscle oil and all this other stuff. Now I think the Tech 2 crafting will actually take you into needing Tech Gizmo 1. So you'll need some Tech Gizmo 1s and some animal eye oil. And it progresses further. At level 3, you'll need animal thyroid oil and component widgets 3 and Tech Gizmo 2s. So it's a whole big craft, and you have to like bring it all up. So take it slow. If you have to stop at the weapon tech gizmo 3s or whatever because they're just too hard for you to get it up, because as you can see, Tech Gizmo 1s is level 1, Tech Gizmo 2 is level 2, Tech Gizmo 3 is level 3, Tech Gizmo 4 is level 4. You know, I'm literally like leaving off the weapon and just saying Tech Gizmo because there's attachment and weapon. It's very important to know the distinction. But if you're just too low a level to crack open a 4, then you might want to either get your quality rating up or get your skills up. Either or. But you're gonna want the highest that you possibly can. See, we got 55% quality rating on this Tech Gizmo 1, and that gives us a success of 91.1%. which we all know that the successes in crafting are as follows. You'll get more failures, but you'll also get a lot more near successes than you will successes. It's not like there's a 91% chance that it's going to be a near success, and there's like that small little bit of percent chance it's going to be a success. But the higher your level is, the more often you're going to get a success. I personally, whenever I do go crafting, I go quantity. I don't go condition. It is very, very important to understand that the crafting machine is not a slot machine. The crafting machine is how we take raw materials and convert it into a different material, so you can actually maybe make a little bit of money off of it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the weapon Tech Gizmo really quick. The Tech Gizmo 1. As you can see, once you start crafting these things, the markup significantly drops on it. So if you're trying to make some money, the component widgets are pretty good to just go ahead and sell, especially if you're lower level. Sell it, try to make a little bit of your money back. This is a pretty deep craft, but you can probably make it profitable for yourself. But once you start getting into the Tech Gizmos, then you're going to start getting those blueprints to drop. I think once you reach around Tech Gizmo 3, even with the lower success rate is going to get you a few extra globals, but that's only to catch up with your losses. But whenever you do hit a global, sometimes you will get a blueprint. Sometimes you just get a blueprint out of the blue. But those blueprints are worth a pretty decent penny. So when you're doing your Tech Gizmos, you might actually either save up the blueprints that you're getting or sell the blueprints and just see where you go from there. Try to just remember that this is really important, that you just know what to do. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do. You're just every situation is different, so you do your own math and see exactly how things are going to go. But this is Tech Gizmos, how to craft to get your Tech Gizmos. But mostly just follow the component widgets and make sure your skills are high enough. If not, do a little bit more extra grinding for skills and stuff like that. But this right here, this whole video is just how to just grind this stuff out to maybe make a little bit of markup or to get into actual crafting. This whole thing right here, all the Tech Gizmos is going to give you a goal in crafting, which will end up being something more akin to the ArMatrix series. Alright guys, don't forget that my favorite place in Entropia Universe has to be New Treasure Island. That's right, it used to just be Treasure Island, now it's New Treasure Island, and I have my own apartment in the Copper building. I'd love to have another apartment just because I'm probably going to need to put some sweat somewhere in the future. If I keep buying all this sweat, it'd just be nice to have a loot shrine of sweat. But that's in the future to get another apartment. But definitely here on New Treasure Island, you can pretty much farm for any animal oil that you can possibly think of. Ranging from animal muscle oil all the way up to spleen. I don't know if there's brain or heart oil, but there might be. Maybe if you get the Dasplaters, they might have some really high-end oil. But you can get almost anything you want here, and it's all decay based, so it's not really extra taxes on you. So you probably get all your loot back for the most part. I don't know. I know that there's no taxes here. It's just decay based. So come and decay here. Come level up your armor. Like tear it up. Get hit by a bunch of stuff. Use your scanner. Get some scanning skill here. There's robots here. All sorts of goodies. So yeah, this is a great place to hunt. A very good place to hunt. So feed my shares and go get yourself some New Treasure Island deeds and feed your own shares. It's good for you. All right, back to the video. All right, so here, let's go ahead and take a look at the ArMatrix B amplifier for Papa. Limited, and it's a limited blueprint. Say you got this off your attachment Gizmo crafting. So what we have here is simple. It's a level 1 craft right here, 95% success rate. That means your skills are high enough. It's a limited blueprint, so it pumps up the quality rating to 100%, well, for the most part. That's what some of these limited blueprints are, and that's pretty nice in and of itself. Let's see, and let's go ahead and throw this down too. So what we have right here, so I got 14 remaining attempts, and oh boy, whatever, that's fine. These things are pretty cheap when it comes down to it. What we got? Yeah, it's so cheap that people aren't really doing much with them, but I guess there's been a big spike of people buying them. But one of these little amplifiers only really adds like 4 penetration damage, but this is probably going to be good for like a low-level gun, and the efficiency is 85%. This means it's going to raise the efficiency of like a level 50 efficiency weapon. It's going to raise it up quite a bit. So amplifiers do raise efficiency just a bit, but if this was on like a 88% efficiency weapon, it would actually drag it down. So if you used to use this on like a low-level ArMatrix or something like that, it would drag it down a little bit. So, well, not a low-level ArMatrix. Anything with an ArMatrix is going to be, it's going to improve, because most anything under the ArMatrix series is like under 70% efficiency. Sometimes you can get a little bit more with the higher level guns, but you wouldn't use a 4 papa amplifier on like ArMatrix weapon of like high quality. You'd use this on like a low level weapon, even before 10s, at level 10, which is the ArMatrix series starting point. But that's beside the point. It's what, 125% markup, so you might be able to get a little bit, but the whole crafting, you got metal rods right here. What does it take to do metal rods? Adaptive fire rate components. These things drop off a few good things, but I am surprised at how low the adaptive fire rate components have become. It's oh man, it looks like it crashed out pretty heavily, but being as that this material right here, the adaptive fire rate component, usually goes into the amps, the weapon amps and stuff like that. So you can get it from a higher level too. Let's see, this one right here, this is a level 23 papa, and as you can see, it still takes basic filters. Hardened metal mountings, those are really important, but see, it still takes the adaptive fire rate component right here. And for the Bravos, which is a BLP amp, you're looking at it completely going into a focus lens component instead of adaptive fire rate. Actually, no, this is for lasers. Papa is the BLP amps. My bad. But the fire rate components goes into BLP, while the laser amps need a focus lens component, which is... Sorry, it's taking me a minute. Focus lens components, market value. Right here, it's still pretty low, but is highly needed in amplifiers. The only problem is whenever you're crafting amplifiers, it takes up a lot of space in your inventory, because for each one it takes up one slot. So mass producing amplifiers for sale, it wouldn't be too advantageous, but you could still make some money off of it. You gotta know how to sell it. Usually whenever I do sales like this for amps, I'll usually do it at a buyout, just to see, but I usually undercut the market, because your primary listing, if you're listing stuff like this, is to just craft like 1 or 2 of them and then post them, and then try to work on another little project too, and post like small amounts so you don't flood the market. So keeping a bunch of these materials on hand for the future crafting as needed is very important. So you basically have to have a good bankroll that you can sit on and hoard the raw materials in order to make most of your crafting stuff. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a whole series of things, and it takes a whole different bunch of things to make stuff. Okay, last but not least, we're gonna go ahead and just show you ArMatrix BC10. I want you to notice the sheer simple fact that all of these things right here is what it takes to craft an ArMatrix BC10. It's almost similar to a LR10. There's like a few different distinguishing factors. Every last one of these things is going to take something different, but this is what this takes. As you can see, basic sensors, basic sheet metal, basic filters, simple 1 plastic springs, Listerium ingots, alicinized gel, nanocubes, and metal ruds. Did we ever actually look into metal ruds? I don't know. We'll go into metal ruds here just for a quick little second, but in a minute. But you can see basic sensors, sheet metal, and filters. These are the same things you crafted the components with. This is why you need a big amount to have it to be able to craft some of these things as well as the components. But once you start getting the ArMatrix blueprints and stuff like that, you're gonna be using some of these same materials. Now, another big thing that you're probably going to need in the crafting of all this is your metal residues. Let's see, we're gonna have to pop this right there. Metal residue, all right. We've got energy matter residue and metal residue, all the residues. So whenever you're crafting your basic sensors, sheet metals, basic filters, your components, and all this other stuff, you're going to get metal residue, and you might get some energy matter residue. You also might, especially if you're like doing simple plastic springs and stuff, you'll get the animal oil residue, which I know a lot of people do not like the animal oil residue, but I usually TT it, but it does go into one little craft that you might want to take a look at really quick if you're lucky enough to get it. Let's see, the extenders. I think it's the extenders. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so your extender right here. I think because this takes animal eye oil, you're able to use oil residue in order to get this to full TT. So if you keep that in mind, you could use your oil residue, which is really cheap, in order to boost this up to the TT value. Whenever you're crafting something like this, you're going to want to use your residue just like that, and then whenever you craft it, it will go up in your TT value. And you'll want to do that with the ArMatrix guns and stuff like that. So you should not be crafting any of this without the help of metal residue, because you want to get this to full TT, which full TT for this is 25. So all of this stuff right here gives a base, which is not going to reach to 25 because it takes per click, right? So it's not going to reach up to 25 PED unless you global, but don't count on that. Always use your metal residue to boost up the TT value so you can sell it. And basically, whenever you add the metal residue to increase the TT value, in a way, I would think that calms down the markup requirements. Like it kind of like tamps it down just a little bit. So whenever all the extra markup that goes in per click, whenever the metal residue gets involved, it kind of lowers down your dollar cost averaging just a little bit, but not much, because you still got to get all these materials. But I would say basically work on crafting all these things yourself. It's a lot more intensive, a lot of labor intensive intensity. It's a lot of labor intensity, but it's all about your skill gain. You don't want to cut corners. You want to get as many skills as you can. You want to get these blueprints up to 100 as soon as you possibly can. And that right there will cut down your cost in the long run. It really will. Being able to get more bang for your buck with a higher level quality rating. But if you can go ahead and buy the higher level quality rating blueprints, you'll be in a little bit better position. But you'll lose out on getting those lost globals or whatever you want to call them. But just keep in mind your metal residue and your energy matter residue and even your animal oil residue is all very important. It's all very important to crafting in general. So keep all that in mind. I hope that this video has helped you guys out. I must say that crafting is quite the amazing, but like I said before, you're gonna need a bankroll. A small, slight bankroll is very important. So if you're going to start crafting, go ahead and think about putting in a little bit of money. Don't go too crazy. I think a good operating budget would be about 5,000 PED. But you can definitely do it with 1,000 PED, but you gotta be really careful. But I don't know. You're gonna want to buy in bulk some of these actual materials. So maybe about 1,000 per ingredient, about 1,000 PED per ingredient, to make sure you get the lowest markup possible when you're buying in bulk. And that way, that also will lower your averages a little bit. So that's why you want to have a decent bankroll and grind it out a little bit. But expect losses when you're first starting out until you get your quality rating up and your skills up. Always think about getting your skills up through welding wire and vehicle structure engineer. That's usually what gets people's crafting spirits up. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments down below. And I hope this video really does help. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you drop lots of likes. Lots and lots and lots of likes. You have reached the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that this helps you craft, and I hope that you help the economy. Because whenever you're a crafter, you are paying the markups that keep people alive, that keep people floating. We need more crafters. We need more traders. We need a lot of things in order to improve the economy in Entropia Universe. But in order for that to happen, it takes someone like you to actually know what you're doing and taking the necessary risks to produce products. Granted, some of those products are not going to sell very well because people like a cheap deal. People like cheap. People really do. You like cheap, I like cheap, everybody likes cheap. But remember, in order to make things go up in price, you have to put into the economy what you expect to get out. But not everybody does that. A lot of people are cheap. But, you know, it is what it is. Eventually, if prices go up to a sustainable level, things can get pretty nice for everybody. And some of those cheap people won't be able to be so cheap anymore. It happens. I don't know. The economy's scary, and in-game economy is scary too. But I hope everything works out. So have fun and click away. Click away. All right, bye.